I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Castellano,
Here.
Ellis,
Here.
Hodson,
Yes.
Pauls,
Here.
Palmer.
I am here. We have no presentations this evening, but we do have our Public Works Department here, our leadership. And gentlemen, before you come up and give us a recap of the storm, I think each and every one of us up here want to thank you. The amount of work that was done over the last week was incredible. So thank you for that. It was outstanding. But if you'd like to come on up and give us a recap.
Well, it was a difficult storm. Okay.
Yes.
At any equation you want to put out there. I don't want to talk about my experience. I used to push snow. It's a pain. And especially when it turned from snow to whatever that was, frozen, it just is brutal.
Yeah, it was not the easiest storm to deal with, considering the temperature drop after the storm really was
And
the problem.
it stayed low. That's why we're not getting the melt that we're getting right now. The temperature's up, but the ground's still cold.
Seeing what we had firsthand, Tony, myself, Alice especially, we were watching the storm develop from very loose style of snow to a little bit more heavy, intermediate. Then obviously as that continued on, it became wet, heavy, icy, boulders type snow where no matter what you did as the development started to get cleared, which was our secondary roadways, you saw the start to ice over, started to create that mass of snow that you see instead of that soft, fluffy, fun stuff that everybody likes. So I like to call this not a fun snowstorm. There wasn't a lot of snowmen. It
wasn't.
There really wasn't. There wasn't a lot. Even some of the places like the nature reserve didn't see as much action as usual because it was ice. Nobody wants to be out there on ice. And we did our best to get it under control as quick as possible. We have a very large amount of roadway that we have to, over 300 miles of municipal roadway that have to be cleared. We have to keep our primary roadways open for our emergency management and do the best we can to go from there. So although there were some complaints, I will easily say that I fielded single-handedly probably hundreds of phone calls from residents about blockages of roadways or not getting what they seemed to be above and beyond treatment. But we did the best we could to keep it moving. Tony, you have a couple of statistical things that you can talk about.
So the snow started to fall at approximately 3:30 on Sunday morning. We were in and operating starting at 4 a.m. We started with 8 plow drivers, several mechanics, and 5 ground crew to maintain PD and the other facilities. We worked 24 hours a day up all the way up until 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday to make sure that we got to every road at least once in some capacity or another. All said and done, we had 53 employees that worked around the clock to do what we could to meet the challenge, we'll say. The biggest problem we ran into was about 11:30 Sunday morning. It started to sleet. About 3 o'clock, it turned to rain. Didn't stop raining until approximately 4 a.m. on Monday morning, at which point it immediately started to lock up due to the Arctic air that came in and froze everything over. The largest complaint that we received would be the boulders that were blocking people's driveways. It was an anomaly due to the fact that the snow was so heavy and it was already freezing as it was coming off the plow. It was 100% unavoidable. I don't even know how many complaints we fielded on that and sent crews to do what we could to clear the driveways, especially for the elderly and the infirmed, as well as helping out EMS and fire where we could and where we were needed. The other thing was, I know we fielded a lot of complaints about, ice and stuff like that. Between us and the school board, we put down between 300 and 400 tons of salt in the middle of a salt shortage. I spent a lot of time on the phone with various state agencies, county agencies, other municipalities, trying to come up with a solution. We were very fortunate that in the middle of it, we were able to receive a shipment of 200 additional tons of salt to get us back to some operational capacity. And to
That's
prepare-
because you order it
Yes.
before a snowstorm. I think
Yeah.
if you ordered it after the snowstorm, you're still waiting for it.
Yeah, I think that and some sheer luck. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But we were in a much better situation than a lot of the other municipalities around us. Because like I said, I was on the phone with all of them. They had nothing, and we were still getting stuff. So we were very fortunate in that regard. Even all the way up until today, we were still out salting what we could, trying to stretch it so as not to put us in a predicament where we won't have any if we have any other events. Seeing as how I just got a confirmation today, we won't be able to receive our next salt shipment until the end of February, which is not a great thing. We have enough, hopefully, should we not see any more significant events.
Has the school gotten any?
For us,
For themselves at least, because I know they were using ours.
they still are.
They are, but we did reach out to the school board or the director of facilities over there. I informed them to use it as minimal as possible because the agreement is they get to come get the salt and they're supposed to supply some salt to us as they run out. Well, that being said, while we're working out the logistics of them getting us more salt for them to use, they don't necessarily use it sparingly. They put it down by the inch. And the schools look great and the kids are safe, and that's all we can really ask for is that the roadways are safe, nobody's injured, and they do a good job of their facilities, but they have no restriction with what they use from our facility. So they were in and out more times than we were during the snowstorm. They actually put down more salt than we did on the first 24-hour shift, double, maybe even triple what we put down. Our stuff actually was a lot later due to the fact that we had to be more reactionary with our salt put down because we had to make sure that the roadways were clear, safe before we were laying salt down on any kind of intersection or anything, which takes us a lot longer than the parking lots and spaces that they have available to them. So
We also don't have the resources we fielded a lot of complaints that, well, the state's putting down salt, the county's putting down salt, why aren't you? As you're aware, we don't have the resources to just put down salt and plow it over and then put down salt plow. We don't have that ability. So, we have to be more sparing with our resources.
Well, I know that the state was taking all the salt at one point.
That's the reason why we
Yeah.
weren't able to order salt because the state was front runners. Of course, they should be. I mean, their roadways, they
Major highways,
travel much
absolutely.
excessive speeds, and they have to have that treated for the same way that we do. But our roadways come secondary to the state roadways,
Yeah.
and that's okay. It just means we have to plan accordingly, and we have to ration what we're putting down and utilizing and making sure that the intersections are safe and that the major roadways are safe and passable. That was truly our one main goal that we did. Did we miss some secondary roadways and some developmental? Listen, accidents happen. People forget. You're out there you plow for a 12-hour shift and you're hitting potholes and manholes and everything else you could think of. Your brain is just going to let you down. At one point, you're going to forget something. It's human nature. We try to track it the best we can. And then if it is missed, we come up with some issues where if it ices over and we didn't get to plow that roadway, it takes a lot more work. We have to bring in machinery. We have to put the salt down, let it activate, then scrape the roadways. As you're aware, I've had some complaints from different areas with different places. But eventually we get to it. We don't just let it go and forget about it. We eventually get to where we need to be. It's patience with the community that we ask for when we're dealing with these types of snowstorms. Normal snowstorm, we don't ask for much patience because the snow in New Jersey is normally gone in 48 hours. Here we are, 10 days? Something like that later, and we still have ice boulders and everything you can imagine out there. So it's a little bit of a different type of storm than we're used to, but we're managing and the roads look really good currently. The phones have stopped ringing when it comes to complaints. But we have, and I feel like our crew has done a good job of keeping up on that. From our standpoint, the biggest thing that we would like to see changed is more community outreach when it comes to moving their vehicles out of the major roadways and
That was my
secondary
question
streets.
for you. So
We get more complaints about cul-de-sacs and areas that we didn't plow, but you can clearly see the imprint of 30 cars. We can only do what we can do. We're not going to put anybody in danger. We're not going to put our machinery or our plows next to personal vehicles. That's just asking for more trouble than it's worth. So if we can only make a primary pass into a development because there's cars blocking their access points, that's the best we can do. And we're not truly going to send crews out there to, after the cars have moved and the ice is formed, to spend, township resources because the community didn't want to do their part to move their vehicles. So if we can get more community outreach, some sort of better plan to try to get that to happen, which is wishful thinking, but that's where we stand.
We can always send communication out when we send, I hate to say the word tax bill, but
Right.
it can go out in that. We could even coordinate with the schools when they send the notices home with the kids.
Yeah.
The parents do read those. So send it out that way, plus all the social media that's out there.
Yeah.
And I think the storm, I think the best thing we can do is right after this storm, when it's still fresh in everybody's mind, put that out there again. Because as you drive through these developments, you can see the ones that moved their cars and the ones that didn't.
Yeah, and I
So-
understand there's not always additional parking spaces for people, but at least make yourself aware that parking next to an intersection, that's not a good idea. So if you're going to park in a roadway, if you have to park in a roadway, try to do it in a position where it won't impede traffic in the future. A lot of times you see them within 10, 15 feet of stop signs, intersections, fire hydrants. We're trying to clear things where it would be a lot easier if it was done in a different fashion. So, but
Well, the storm was difficult, but another thing for you, Al, you picked up trash on Monday.
yeah,
There's some communities that didn't get trash. You watch Channel 6 News, Philadelphia still got it all over the place in New York. So we were able to deal with the storm as bad as it was and deal with the trash picked up on Monday, which I think is a compliment. And it's our automated trucks. You know how much I love them. They're the best.
Yep.
Okay. And, you got to try to continue on with this storm, and the storm was difficult. I don't know, Mom, your voice.
I don't know how they got to.
I guess the storm took my voice.
and I have to say that, we're very proud of our guys for showing up. It's very easy to take a sick day the day after a snowstorm and not show back up to work, but our guys really show up like they always do. And they put their boots on and they go out there and they shovel trash cans out and they pull them out for the automated trucks. And it's not an easy thing to do. You have to be, light on your feet. You have to be aware of what you're doing and you have to be ready to work. So, we're very proud of our staff and very proud of the guys that, I think we only had maybe 3 or 4 guys during the state of emergency that couldn't make it in. And those were for medical or family illnesses or something other than that. We really, truly, we grouped together. We do what we have to do at Public Works, and it was all hands on deck. And if that was ever a thought in anybody's mind, we definitely have everybody out there. So, and I don't think the community really realizes that we do, but every single staff member possible worked overtime. And like I said, I'm very proud of everybody, the clerks, the supervisors. Obviously, Al does a great job of keeping us all going. It's really nice to see that the end of it all, after all the chaos, is a very good product.
I know the equipment really takes a beating. How'd you hold up?
Believe it or not, so one of the things that we did, modern technology, we have the ability to know in advance that the weather's coming like this. We made sure that for the 3 days prior to the storm, we had every piece of equipment out, greased, tires checked, blades of the plows changed, headlights, wipers, top to bottom. Everything was functioning. We had no catastrophic failures or breakdowns of equipment, which is pretty impressive for us. Given the amount of roadways and the amount of equipment we had on the road. I think the longest breakdown we had was maybe a half hour to an hour max. That was a big deal for us, and being prepared ahead of the storm really made the difference.
Good job, guys. Really good job.
Now, and thinking about the trash, if we were still had laborers on the back of the trash truck, our trash wouldn't be picked up. So back to the automation. The automation can do it. The driver can get it, that thing hooks it and takes it, and our streets are clean. It wasn't easy. It was easy, and we up here all know it.
Yeah, thank you, and please let all of your staff know that we all appreciate it very much.
It's we're obviously right now we're not collecting any curbside collections because we can't get to our curbside collections. So patience is what we ask for from everybody. once the loose leaves will become a big thing, we'll hear the birds chirping.
We have plenty of leaves.
As well as, I just want to bring up the topic now to get ahead of it, but we're going to have crews out pretty much full time working on potholes, with a snowstorm, and you have plows and machinery and all kinds of stuff. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of complaints that come through. We will get to them as we always do. And just be patient.
2 ways for the pothole complaints, right? They can call.
We have a
Right.
pot-
And there's a spot on the website that you can report a
There is.
pothole.
So
Let me
go ahead.
touch on that.
Yeah, go
quick.
ahead.
You can use the website. It is much easier to call.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with IT on the website and the issues with the reporting. It's not the best. Your best bet is to call. Give us the most accurate information possible. We're very fortunate now with how we handle potholes. We have the ability to recycle our own asphalt. We don't have to wait for the plants to be open. So we literally can do it every day. It's a huge savings to the township, and it's much better than buying bags of cold patch, which is not the best way to go.
Mhm.
We have the ability now. Like I said, we're recycling our own asphalt. Every day we've had crews out patching holes everywhere because unfortunate, all the water from it melting and freezing.
Yep.
What it blows the roads apart.
300 miles of old township roadways, municipal roadways.
We have a special liaison on this committee with potholes.
He's the pothole inspector.
We're familiar.
You would come up with this. I'm glad wheels later up down that road.
We're dealing with it as best we can, like I said, and we'll continue to do our best to keep up on the roadways conditions preceding this meeting, obviously. But yep, Tony, it's hit it right on target. Always call Public Works if you have a complaint or you need assistance in any way, because that's the easiest way to get your answer.
And that's something that, Oliver's talked with a lot of residents I have as well. We actually want the residents to know we don't mind if they call. We do want to talk to them because, again, that's how we get the most accurate information. And believe it or not, contrary to popular belief or whatever, we actually do want to help. We live in this town as well. We care. We want to be there for our residents and help any way that we can.
Yeah.
So it's
Not-
not.
You do that.
The
There's no
problem
doubt.
is we don't always give the answer that you want. And sometimes the answer that they want is it reflects against private property. And that's really where in the snowstorm, especially snowstorm conditions, we plow from curb to curb the best we can without any kind of impeding. The problem lies when we go curb to curb and they don't follow directions for avoid the second shovel. If they're going to remove snow and place it in the roadway, it's going to end up back in your driveway. So the community has to be more aware that we are not maliciously in any fashion trying to plow them in or create any kind of a nuisance for them. We're actually trying to help them the best way we can, which is keeping the roadways clear and unobstructed. So we do pride ourselves on going curb to curb. Storms like this are difficult. We didn't get to that level. I'm not going to pretend that everything's perfect. We did miss some stuff. But when we do go curb to curb, that's when we get a lot of these complaints because people think that we should come out and shovel the access point of their driveways and mailboxes. And unfortunately, that is private property. We're not going into anybody's property. We're not going to step into their driveway. We're not going to use machinery on your concrete apron. That's just not our procedural thing to do. We did field, like Tony said, multiple complaints, and we were able to send our guys out with hand shovels and picks, and we were able to move some of the excess snow away from their driveway that was in the roadways out of courtesy, because we really, truly, like we said, we're community people. We understand that there are elderly and people who need to get to doctor's appointments and people who are sick. I probably at least, I would say 75 to 100 residents called in about that, and almost every single one of them had help in some way or another. So,
If you don't mind, I'm going to deviate from public comment just for a minute because we have a woman here who that's what she's here for. This is Shanice Callahan. Good, how are you? And if you just want to come up, these are the gentlemen you want to talk to. So I figure you might as well come up now.
How y'all doing? I know
Nice
Mike.
to meet you.
Yes,
What is it?
yes. How you doing? Because we always speak on the phone, right? I want to thank you guys, and this is the board. I'm the president of the board. You can introduce yourself.
Letitia Cochran, nice to
Nice to
meet
meet
you.
you.
Y'all did do a
Oliver,
great job
nice
in the
to meet you.
township.
Yes.
And Mike Wrigley, how you doing?
Hi, Mike.
Tony, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So what we're asking is we just don't want to be last. It seems every year, every time we have a snowstorm, not even to this magnitude, we're always the last to come through that block. And you know, I'm constantly on the phone and I'm asking just because we're paying over $500,000 in taxes. It's 81 homes there. And the complaints don't come to you, they come to me. You see who's sitting in here? They call me. And I'm like, call Public Works, you know, write them there. But that's all I'm asking. I thank you guys because you did come out. Eventually you came out. But
Yeah, during the
That's
entire,
weird.
like, I was on the phone with you multiple times, and I'm not going to pretend like that was the best quality of work that we had.
right,
Um,
right.
We didn't really get to it in a timely fashion, not because we intentionally did that in any way. It's just how the mapping works out, primary, secondary. I know there's 80 homes in there, but getting Ridge Avenue clear, that was obviously done way before your development was. Ridge Avenue was plowed as a primary roadway. We weren't able to get into Ridgeview Estates because unintentional, and it's no different than anybody that would be, you know, anywhere else in the
Right.
township. And we can do our best to try to expedite our work, but we can only work as fast. And we did come out with some traction control installed until the temperature warmed up enough to go out there with our machinery,
Right,
and that's what we ended up doing.
right. We're just asking to be
And-
just
and
a
I-
part
and
of the
I- and I
priority as
understand.
well because it's a lot of homes and like you said, the complaints don't come to you; they come to me. Yeah, and they're calling, they're texting me, and I'm like, okay,
Yes, you may
you
be
know.
the most vocal
Right.
community, 80 homes inside. However, it is not only, you're not the only one that reaches out to us. So we
Right,
don't give,
right.
we treat every resident equally. We try to work our way through the progression of what we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
The other point,
And when you guys came out,
That
you
I
did a
can
great
speak
job. The only thing I'm asking about the parking lot, do you guys do the, okay. So our community is a community that they're not supposed to have cars on the street.
Yeah.
So, and when they do, I'm on that phone,
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
you know, so you don't have to worry about the
Yeah.
street.
no, that
part.
was not an issue. That was not
Okay.
a targeted.
Yeah, no,
that was
Okay.
not for you.
You guys are one of the
Okay.
only
Yeah,
neighbors that
actually,
was
it's
actually
actually
fine
really,
with that.
it's actually
Yes.
really nice. Maybe you should send
If
pictures.
I can touch on that real quick.
Mhm.
Number one, I appreciate the fact that you field all the complaints for your neighborhood because I understand how hard it is. I mean, we have to deal with all the residents. As far as the mapping is concerned, that's on me. We are active. We actually had a meeting today with the road division.
Okay.
And anybody over anybody else. I don't care if it's a dead end road to outlet to make sure that we do get everybody in it. Try and maybe move it around.
Yes, thank you.
The biggest problem with that though is every snowstorm is different.
Mhm.
This one, everybody got hit equally, but there are times where we have snowstorms where the heavier, so that's where our
Right.
focus is going to be quicker. The best I can tell you right now is I
That's
feel
fair.
like that, it was done on purpose because I promise
Right.
you. it's
No,
not.
I don't think so.
Every
'Cause-
time I've dealt with you, you've
Yes.
always been professional and
Yes.
we've always been able to resolve everything.
Yep.
So,
Always answered the phone.
Yes,
Always
yeah.
answered the call, and
You
that's
have. Yes.
that's something that Egg Harbor Township does really well. Other townships shut their phones off. The county shuts their phones off. We're not shutting our phones
I
off.
couldn't even get a hold of
No,
them.
I
No.
actually
Every time I call you guys, I'm able to get in
And like
contact
I
with
said
you
earlier,
guys.
please don't ever feel like you're bothered. You have.
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
She's a good president. She's a good president.
Having this back and forth conversation is the only way that anybody
Right.
can ever get any real insight.
Right.
So again, I appreciate
Right.
talking with you. It's
Yes.
not a problem.
Yes.
Don't ever feel like it's a problem.
When we saw you sitting there, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's
yeah.
go. Communication
And I
is
know
a
the mayor, she
Yeah.
just, she's always, anything I
about
talk
whatever
to,
we
right, right.
You wanna-
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for listening.
Yep.
Thank you guys, and thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. I know you want to go home. It's been a long day. Yes, sir. Snow question? Yeah.
Snow question.
Snow?
So, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ahmed Abdullah. I live at 213 Chesterbrook Road. So I'm on the other side. I'm in a kind of a cul-de-sac, right? So I just moved out there 4 years ago. This is my second snowstorm. So I just wanted to know, as far as the mapping, how does the mapping go? Because I've heard you say about the
Yes, primary roadways compared to secondary or developments.
Yes, and I'm familiar with it because I'm the assistant director of public works for Atlantic City. I've been there for 22 years. Even actually, Shanice was my executive. So we're very familiar with the complaints. Yeah, we're familiar with the complaints and everything. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for your service. I think y'all do an excellent job. Like I said, 22 years from the back of the trash chute up into where I'm at now. So I understand exactly what's going on and the call outs after the snowstorm. So I understand all of that. I want to tell you thank you. So I'm not here to complain. I'm here to just get an understanding because Atlantic City is totally different from Egg Harbor Township with dealing with the snowstorm. So my problem was that, in my cul-de-sac, I couldn't get out of the front entrance and I had to get to work. So I just wanted to know the mapping part. How does that work? So I'll know next time.
So we have the township broken up into 6 zones. You're actually in zone 1. Okay. How it works is we start with our primary roads. We're talking West Jersey Avenue is our number 1 primary road. Lower Ave. Roads that intersect with county roads, state roads, stuff like that. So they're the roads that we focus on first. And many storms, and this is one of them, we'll plow it 6 times before we make the decision to move into our secondary venture. And we all storm dependent.
Yes.
If I have the truck that's in zone 1 is in closer to West Atlantic City, unfortunately what's going to happen is they're going to start in West AC. Now, we've worked with the police department and whatnot. If you're an essential employee and that's from your street, you can call and make a request, and then we will do our best to get somebody quicker. Lots of people, doctors, nurses, plenty of cops.
Yeah, and just for the second part of that we didn't really mention was SALT only goes at intersecting roadways into the main areas.
Okay.
So developments, secondary roadways, they're not normally treated. We only treat them, and if you see us treating a secondary roadway, it's because we may have lost control of that road. It may be icier than necessary because we didn't get to it on time.
Right.
So that's why we're loosening it up so we can come in and remove some of that ice off the roadway. Aside from that, there's not enough salt in our barn to do that. We would be in big trouble. And we're not as lucky as the county and the state to be able to have the budget to be able to support.
So that's all. I don't want to take up too much of time. I just wanted to get an understanding so that way I know the next time anything that goes in, I just give a call.
Right. You also have my card from the last time.
Yes.
You can call if you ever have any questions.
Thank you. Again, thank you. I'll be safe out there.
Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go home, relax. You are going home, correct?
No.
Yeah. Tony's not.
You
He's
want to
got
sit with that
firehouse
gentleman?
meeting.
Okay.
Just
Fire
one other thing, the fire chief's
Good
here,
night.
and I know how much the firemen did help EMS and everybody else through the storm. And that's what the community does. We work together. And it didn't go unnoticed. This is a difficult storm. I don't care who is going to tell you. I know of another community where I used to work. They failed miserably. Okay, we did a pretty good job. No, they failed miserably. I don't think they had salt. I don't know what they didn't do. But the thing is, our fire chief's here. Our firemen have plows, and we're responding to help EMS get in and out of places where somebody had to be transported. And the calls that came in that we don't normally get on gas, water. I'm listening to Ventnor. I don't know if anybody doesn't know to shut their water off over there. Ventnor's got water everywhere. So, I mean, it was a difficult storm. And Chief, for your firemen, this is what we do. You come to help, you try to help the people.
We did get a lot of help from the 5 fire companies with plowing, so we do appreciate that.
I listened
And
to
you have to
them.
say the 5 fire companies are all volunteers. We say this over and over again, that this is volunteer help. They don't have to do it.
Yeah, when if I wasn't at work, I was with them.
You go out and plow, what are the things you do besides plowing for him? What we will do is, it can be in a deep plow in the weekend. We'll drop the deep plow in the beginning of the street, we just run the street. Bust open the street a little bit in those situations. May not be 300 miles.
Plus,
For a volunteer, it's a lot.
Yes.
Fire department hits miles with the roads in the middle,
Very helpful.
I know our
Almost didn't.
Yeah.
yeah.
I will.
And when you meet with all the chiefs, just tell them that we all say thank you very much for everything. Shortly, right?
The last
Shortly,
thing,
right?
the last part that I'll say before we take off is that we did get very lucky that the weather didn't do what it was supposed to do. The following week after,
We were prepared though.
we were. That's why I was going to touch on that. We had guys out. They were hand chipping out inlets and areas where we were assuming that we were going to get flooded, because the major problem with that was not the snow that was going to be coming, but the northeast high tide that was supposed to come in and flood everywhere.
The full moon.
The full moon. So even though
Moon was full.
we did get very lucky, but we were prepared. So I want everybody to, to know that part of it, that we weren't just sitting on our hands. We were out there. We had machinery. We had hammers and chisels and everything you could think of, infrared heaters. And we took, between West Atlantic City and a lot of the areas that are on waterways, the inlets are clear. So we're prepared, even if when the snow does melt, we're not going to have that flooding issue, hopefully, unless we have some sort of another issue.
Real quick, you mentioned the potholes, call the office, make sure, I just want to say that after hours, you could call communication. You got to mention communication.
Yeah, you can call communications, or if you can call Public Works after hours and leave a message.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We also have the capability of receiving emails and stuff like that. I know we're working with IT to make it better, but the links are there. It's available to everybody. Should have a way, whether you don't use technology in your, however it may be. You can use the phone to call during normal operation, or if you are more savvy with technology, you can use your smart devices to use that and put a request in any of the way, between Facebook and all the things that we have available to us. There's always a way. So,
Well, one thing, when you said Facebook, it just triggered a thought that a lot of us read the EHD happenings page, and those different pages that are out there. There's a lot of people that complain on there. That's the wrong spot.
Yeah.
They should be calling Public Works. They could call my office. They could call Tom. They could talk to any one of us up here. If you have something you need done, call somebody. Don't put it out on social media and hope somebody sees it.
We will not respond to that type of interaction on social media. It's a trap. It's not a good idea. So any of our supervisors and our guys that are at Public Works, they normally don't respond to that type of interaction.
Yeah, and most
community
people
outreach
send them to
page,
Public Works
yeah.
when they do that. But
There's
it's like,
nothing
or
wrong
whatever.
with having a page like that where the community can get together and talk about topics. But if you're asking for help, that is the wrong place.
That's the wrong page for
If
that.
you see something, say something. Don't assume that the complaint on one of those sites is going to get the attention, or you just want to complain.
Exactly.
Say
Okay.
something.
Because we'll get attention to it, somebody, some way.
And take the proper steps. Make a phone call.
Just call. See something, say something. That's
That's
it.
right,
So-
see something, say something.
Mayor, on that note, just so you know, any call that we received in the office or any email, we sent right over, and those guys were out adjusting the problem
That's good.
almost immediately, every time. So they
That's-
are responsive to the complaints once we know there's a complaint.
I went out to Rick right after you did it, and it was clean.
It just was patience and time to make sure that the weather was cooperating. As soon as it stopped negative, degree wind chill and and we were able to use our product. So what is it, is it up to 19 degrees? After that, salt's not really efficient. It's more just for traction control. And once we were able to have the sun and a little bit of traffic and it got above that temperature range, then we were able to get our machines in there. So.
And reporting online does work for a pothole. I know there was a county one on Summers Point Mays Landing Road. I reported it at 8 o'clock at night. They fixed it the next day. So it does work. It does work.
And we didn't get the Iceland lines. Look at North Carolina and Tennessee. They still don't have power.
Yep.
We were blessed by not having almost
We
a
dodged the
power.
blow.
The utility companies were pretty good.
But thank you, gentlemen. Thank you all.
Thank you. Take care.
Don't forget to tell the chiefs, tell their guys, thank you. Okay.
Buy more salt now.
They're working on it. Okay. We're going to move on to ordinances for public hearings. Mr. Friedman, ordinance number 1.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 1 is an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limit and to establish a cap bank pursuant to New Jersey Statute 48:4-45.14. The purpose of this ordinance is to allow for the flexibility in the municipal budget to address any unforeseen expenses or future needs while staying within the statutory financial guidelines. Thank you.
Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak on ordinance number 1? Have your name for the record, please.
Doris Dilly, Egg Harbor Township. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Respectfully, Mr. Friedman, you asked me on my way in if I was planning on speaking this evening. I told you perhaps. The answer is now yes. So, thank you. With regards to utilizing the opportunity to pass a cap balance ordinance. When utilizing the cap bank, it means that the town is living at or above the cap. Based on the research that I did, out of the last 5 years, the cap bank has been utilized on 4 of the last 5 budgets, which leaves little room for future emergencies and can mask costs rising faster than sustainable revenues. The result of regularly using cap bank, not just passing it, signals that the budget is under pressure from fixed costs. Tied with this is the implication of using surplus regularly. Surplus money is essentially the township's savings account. Surplus is meant for emergencies, including storms, lawsuits, and infrastructure repair. In 2020, $1,450,000 was used to balance the budget. In 2021 and 2022, $1,750,000 was used to balance the budget. In 2023, $2,900,000 was used to balance the budget. In 2024, $3.4 million was used to balance the budget. In the adopted 2025 budget, $5 million was used to balance the budget. The amount was approximately 1/3 of the total surplus that was available at that time. Heavy surplus use often means that taxes are being kept artificially low today at the expense of what will happen tomorrow. More importantly, the combined effect of the utilization of cap bank and surplus regularly used to balance the budget results in the following. Cap bank allows for higher budgets. Surplus pays for them without raising taxes. Taxes appear to look stable until they aren't. If surplus continues to be used and cap bank is used up, there is a higher probability of a sharp tax increase, service cuts, and emergency measures may need to be taken by the governing body. This is how towns end up with the sudden tax hikes that appear to taxpayers without warning. An unhealthy financial pattern is developing, from what I can see, as a result of the use of cap bank being used almost every year to help balance the budget, relying on surplus to avoid tax increases and help balance the budget. There are no structural fixes to the growth of costs, especially with all of the continued overdevelopment that is currently occurring in our township. As an interested taxpayer, this is how I interpret what I see. Continued cap bank usage coupled with rising surplus use and flat or low tax increases is a warning sign of a deferred impact, not efficiency. Ultimately, the takeaway here is the use of cap bank and surplus are tools that you are absolutely able to use, but they are not solutions.
Anything else, Ms. Stilley?
I was just waiting for Mr. Friedman to stop.
Continue. This is, anything else for public comment on this?
Yes. The use of cap bank and surplus are tools, not solutions. While cap bank and surplus are lawful budget tools, as I said, and appropriate in one-time circumstances, using them repeatedly to cover ongoing operating costs raises concerns about the long-term fiscal sustainability. This approach potentially delays difficult decisions that need to be made by the governing body, and ultimately may lead to larger tax increases, depleted reserves, or reduced services in future years if not addressed. The township budget may be balanced on paper, but the underlying finances give the appearance of it being fragile. Without increasing revenue, not through the increase of property taxes, managing the current overdevelopment, and controlling expenses, taxpayers will bear the future costs. I respectfully urge the local leaders to prioritize strategies that strengthen sustainable revenue growth and control recurring operating costs so that we are not simply kicking the can down the road and deferring challenges to future budgets. I thank you for the opportunity. Have a good evening.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the governing body? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Make the motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Milano.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Wallace.
Yes.
Ellis. Crommer.
Yes. I can have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1. Can I have a second, please? Second.
A second.
Roll call.
Castellano.
Is there time for discussion? Sure. I just very quickly, I will vote for the ordinance this evening. I want to make sure that we have the flexibility to provide for our residents. However, I hope that we will not need to utilize it. I share Ms. Dilley's concerns. A continued use of surplus really signals that what we have is a structural deficit. And that means that over a extended time, our expenditures are exceeding our revenues. So I think that we need to look for a longer term fix to that. That involves a number of elements, slowing residential growth while hopefully increasing commercial growth and ratables, of course, maximizing our state aid and grants, and keeping careful watch over our spending. But again, I will vote for the ordinance tonight so that we have the flexibility to serve our residents.
And that should be, if you want to ever give a comment, that's the perfect time to do it, right there.
Watson.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Ellis. Crommer.
Yes. Ordinance number 2, Mr. Friedman.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2 is an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain officials and employees, being the Policemen's Benevolent Association of the Township of Egg Harbor for the year 2026. The purpose of this ordinance is to set the 2026 salaries of the employees covered under the PBA collective bargaining unit. Thank you.
Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the governing body on ordinance number 2? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
And Brummer?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis? And Brummer?
Yes. Ordinance number 3, Mr. Friedman.
Ordinance number 3 is an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain officials and employees of the Township of Egg Harbor for the year 2026. The purpose of this ordinance is to set the 2026 salaries of certain officials and employees. Thank you.
Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the governing body on ordinance number 3? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis? And Brummer?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 3?
So moved?
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Brummer?
Yes. Ordinance number 4 for introduction, Mr. Friedman.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 4 is an ordinance accepting the deed of a stormwater basin located at Block 5203, Lot 1.12, from Touch of Modern Incorporated. The purpose of this ordinance is to accept the deed of dedication of the stormwater basin from Touch of Modern, the property located at Block 5203, Lot 1.12, to the Township. A public hearing on Ordinance 4 of 2026 will be held on Wednesday, February 18, 2026 at 5 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 4? Anybody?
I want to do, I'll make
It's
a
introduction, yeah.
Second?
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yeah.
Brummer?
Yes. We have a resolution consent calendar number 88 through and including number 96. Does anybody have any questions?
I just want one question. Number 9 is the same vet that we use every year? Because she does a great job with the shots. Is that true? Yeah, okay. That's all I wanted to know because I've been out there when you had the rabies clinic. I enjoyed myself immensely. And she moves through the animals that people bring in this town. It's a good service. Okay.
Diana, do we have a date for the rabies clinic? I think we
It's
do,
going
don't
to be
we?
March 14th from 9 to 12.
At Public Works.
And at Public Works, right? You use that building, it works out pretty well.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolutions 88 through 96?
Make a motion.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Brummer?
Yes, we have an let's wait on that one. We have a bill list, Resolution 97, authorizing payment of all bills. Can I have a motion so we can pay our bills?
Make a motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Brummer?
Yes. Now we'll bring in the add-on. We have resolution number 99. This is authorizing Township Committee to execute an amendment to the lease agreement with Cygnus. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
That's the room for the police department, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Brummer?
Yes. We have some approvals. Can I have a motion to adopt the Township Committee closed executive meeting minutes of January 21, 2026?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
That's fine.
Can I have a motion to adopt the Township Committee meeting minutes of January 21, 2026?
Make a motion.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the payroll for the month of January 2026 in the amount of $2,049,864.33?
Make a motion.
Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Public comment. Does anybody want to address the governing body on anything? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Township committee reports. Mr. Castellano.
Thank you, Mayor. I think we've talked at length about the storm, and again, I just want to echo my thanks to our professionals, our first responders, everyone who helped, and please, I hope that makes its way to everyone in the staff, that we appreciate what they did. This past Saturday, I attended training given by the New Jersey League of Municipalities. It was a long day, but filled with a lot of information on a variety of topics. So it was very, very worthwhile for me. And I intend to continue taking as much training as I'm able to. And then just as a follow-up to a subject that I spoke on last meeting, that we are continuing to work on the issue of the sale of flavored vapes in the township, which we need to crack down on. We are working on that intensely. We are now at the point where we are drafting a ordinance, which will be just for our township. There are a handful of municipalities that already have ordinances that will give the chief more authority and more ability to address the issue. And so we have a draft, and we're working through that. A few more questions to answer, a few more details to work on. So I want to thank Chief Spano for his help and Mr. Friedman for his assistance. And I hope we'll have that ready soon for introduction. So thank you all, and have a good night.
Mr. Pauls.
Start off, I talked to Rick from the rec board on the construction jobs we got going with the fields. Most of the field jobs are shut down now because of the frozen ground. That'll take a while to get going again until the thaw comes. Before that, they were going very well. Rick was very happy with what was going on with those jobs. Attended the zoning board the other night. Short meeting. Zoning board's doing well. And I also want to thank Public Works and the fire department for the storm. And I just want to point out when Tony answers a question, because when you get the answer, it might not be the one you want, but he's always honest. And I appreciate that. That's about all I have.
I'll just echo what was best said. This was a difficult storm in any case, and we can just work it better. That ice, I've been here 45 years. I didn't ever saw a snowstorm like that. I came out early. It was nice and fluffy. I said, oh, we get a great snowstorm at the nature reserve. Came out the next morning. It was a solid ice, two inches thick. To Public Works, the fire department, I listen to you guys. I know what you're doing. I appreciate it. I think the residents know the story, appreciate it. And back to what we said before, if you see something, say something. Don't sit there and complain, because it may not get taken care of. Okay? Our people at Public Works, this is just an observation, they answer the phone. There's times where somebody don't answer the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning when the snow plows are out. So they answer the phone and they pass it to the supervisors, and we try to take care of it. This is a big township. Don't let anybody kid themselves. We have county, state, and we're a part of it. So, we got to work together. And the thing that was very interesting to me was how the state was regulating salt. I wasn't too cool with that, because we need it too. And if we were smart enough to buy it ahead of time, we should get our salt, not have the state say they're diverting it to the state highways because there was a shortage. And to Al left, I told him personally, he was loaded up before the storm and he had more coming during the storm, and they honored it. So we didn't get caught without material and product for the roads. So again, to everybody, we got through this. I hope for some people that are related to me are in Florida asking them, is the snow melting? It's not melting. The ground's too damn cold. So it will melt at some point, and hopefully we don't have flooding and everything else, and it stays out till next year. That's it.
I feel sorry for the kids when it snowed. We used to make snowmen. You can't make it with this stuff. You can't throw snowballs. You might get locked, Chief. They throw snowballs. You might get locked up for assault with this ice. I've never seen anything like it, but Public Works, EMTs, police did a great job. And like I said, some streets, we just had to have patience. But it got done eventually. So good job. Not saying it was my street, but good job.
They did do an outstanding job. And I think I'm just going to echo what everybody else said. What a way to start the year, huh? And so hopefully, each day is one day closer to spring, and we get there before the next order of salt comes in, and we don't need it, which would be a good thing to have. So I just want to also thank all the people out there that help their neighbors. There were a lot of I could see it, and my neighborhood was doing it. I'm sure most of yours were doing it. There were people out helping their neighbors that couldn't do it, and it's greatly appreciated. I even saw kids out there looking for $20 to do your sidewalk. So it was nice. It was nice to see people out helping themselves. Yeah, well, they probably was more than 20, but but it was nice to see that. I just want to thank everybody for their cooperation, and for Public Works. Thank you for everything you did. You guys deserve a break. It was a lot of work. Chief Dan, same thing with the fire company. You guys go out of your way for everything, so we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Chief Spano, the police were out there doing everything they could do, and they had their hands full for the whole thing, so just want to say thank you. Oh, it was. It definitely was a Public Works show.
And you know what?
But Fred,
I did.
we've all been here a long time, and we can think of the blizzards where we didn't have the equipment that they have today to do anything here. I mean, when I was a policeman in Summers Point, they had no plows one year. We had to get military trucks. So I think we're as prepared as we can be for these storms. Now, listen, it's not easy to say this is how it's going to work. You have to adapt to the operational needs at the time. And I think we did okay. I mean, it was a miserable storm, in my estimation. That's it. Very simple. It's a lot of ice, and it's still there.
I was out there, I got to witness
Best thing we ever did.
very active. They did a thing.
They did.
So that made it
They did.
better.
That's a good thing.
I think that had to do with the date itself.
Well done. Well done, all of you. Tom?
May I defer my time to the deputy?
Yes, you may.
Sorry, it's on my way.
Good evening, committee. I just wanted to discuss a couple items as far as municipal budgeting is concerned for clarity. So we are only able to put into the budget known revenues, ones which have already been secured. So if we do not receive a certain grant until like July, we would be unable to write a budget where that money is included in the budget. And one of the primary reasons you borrow from surplus is because you know that the money is coming. The DOT's municipal aid for road grant money is coming. Your clean communities money is coming. And based on last year's numbers, you can make a decent estimate as to what, and the fiscal state of the state can help you judge to what extent you want to anticipate that money coming in later. So you're essentially borrowing it from yourself at the beginning of the year. As far as Cap Bank is concerned, Cap Bank is money, taxes which could have been raised. The state puts a limit on how much a municipality can raise on any given year. And if you do not hit that limit, you are allowed to set some of that percentage aside in case in the next 3 years an emergency happens or an '08 financial crisis happens. And you need to tap into the taxes that you did not raise when you could have. And that allows you a little safety net in case there's a serious downturn on any particular year. The Cap Bank percentages do fall off after 3 years. So decisions get made for good financial decisions get made as to how much of the Cap Bank might need to get used prior to it falling off and expiring. So a little bit of it might get used before it goes away and we no longer have the option to use it. Another item which should be pointed out is that the township's overall surplus year over year has gone up in a healthy way. So while we may be borrowing more to balance the budget at the time we write it in March, come next January, when we are reconciling the end of year revenues versus expenditures, we are increasing our rainy day fund at a healthy rate to keep up with inflation and just balance it all out. That's all I have, unless anybody had further comments.
No. And Pete, when we start, you'll learn that some of the budgeting we do here is different than the school board. It's handled differently. So, Mark, did you take a ride down the hill at the nature reserve?
I did not, it was too icy.
You can go down it, but you're not stopping.
You weren't stopping from what I heard. So anything, want to say anything?
No, I guess there's nothing for me to report. I didn't have an opportunity to go out there on many occasions. When I did, it was just nice to see a winter wonderland, but it was treacherous to walk around.
And you listened, you stayed home.
Yes.
That's good. All right. Do we have a need for closed session?
Yes, ma'am. Brief one.
That was the word, right? Brief, right? Okay.
Resolution 98, authorizing the Township Committee to convene in the closed executive session to discuss matters which may involve personnel and/or legal matters. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and where this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the Township Committee may need to enter into closed executive session at one or more times during this meeting to discuss matters permitted under New Jersey law, including but not limited to the following. On personnel matter, it's an ongoing labor negotiations update, anticipated disclosure 1 year. 2 legal matters, a potential shared service agreement with Pleasantville, anticipated disclosure 6 months, and an update on the 2594 Tilton Road lease, anticipated disclosure 6 months. Whereas minutes of said closed executive sessions will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes shall be made available to the public in accordance with law. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee, Township of Egg Harbor, County of Atlantic, and State of New Jersey that the public be excluded from this meeting during such portions of the meeting as the governing body may deem necessary to discuss the matters set forth above.
Thank you. And we will not be taking any.
No action.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Can I have a motion to go into closed session, please?
Make a motion. Second, rewind.
Yep. Rewind. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Wallace?
Yes.
Alice? Farmer?
Yes.